Hello everyone, this is Nim and this is episode 3 of my Tailmaking video diary. Over the last few weeks I've been experimenting slowly and constantly with new scale patterns and densities and different silicones and so on and so forth. Amongst other things, I have a glow-in-the-dark pigment, as you might have seen on my little thank you video, one post above. While I really like the effect in general, I'm not too fond of it in specific because you have to put quite a lot of it in to get a good effect, and the colors it makes are very flat and milky, and I don't know, I think if I'd really use it, I'd like to make a tail that is actually kind of centered around the glow effect instead of just putting it into my current project. Now, next up is an example of what not to do. Do not overpigment your silicone. It looks dreadful. It will eat through your pigment, which is rather expensive, as some of you might know, and it looks just awful. This is a good example where the shading looks like a case of scale lichen. Also, the highlights look painted on, and it's just really not good. So I put that aside for the moment and went on to fluke construction. This is a rough outline of my monofin. I have a leader-fin Gold medium? I don't even know. It's huge and I love it. So I drew an outline of what I imagined it to be and then fixed the shape a little. Because whilst I love a big indent in the middle, it takes away a lot of propulsion because the fluke tends to kind of fold along the line in the middle, and I want propulsion. I'm a decent swimmer and I do not want to have to flail and never get anywhere. That looks just silly. Just my 2 cents. So I sacrificed a bit of the aquadynamic shape look for more propulsion. Then I went to work on my side fins. I made a little paper model to get an idea of the size and the shape and the angle. I don't know if that makes any sense. I held it to myself and just walked around a bit looking silly. After that, I made a mirror copy and glued it under a bit of foil where I made my first sculptures on. I spent a perceived 12 hours doing this because I'm not very good at it. And I was so happy and left it to dry. And then this happened. Note to self, do not make your sculptures too thin. They will crack when they dry. And I mean, irrevocably be ruined. Do make your sculptures at least 1/3 of an inch thick, or at least 1/2 centimeter for us Europeans. And just don't make it too wet either. It tends to crack more if it gets very wet in the sculpting process. The next version was much better, and I made a silicone mold of it with relative ease. That was a lot of fun. Then I decided to experiment with some shines. I have 3 different pigments here which are classified as ghost pigments because they technically don't have no real color. They only show up as shine on the object as the light reflects off it. So from left to right there is a blue-green shine, there is a purple-violet, and a olive-red shine, which is supposed to be the most natural pearl shine you can have. I painted it inside the mold with some paint thinner. Now this works quite well if it's one specifically for, well, universal one. And however, it takes about 12 hours to evaporate and allow the silicone to cure. So be patient. I ruined 1 or 2 tries being not patient. Then I made my first half side fin, and I was very excited. First of all, it wouldn't really get out of the mold. Make sure you need use enough separating agent, whatever it is. Just do it. Trust me on this one. I finally got it out, and I'm quite pleased with it. Bear in mind, this is only the shine on top of the, call it the flesh. There is no underlying color yet. And you can see the transitions a little bit, though it's a bit hard to catch on camera. There's the blue-green on top, which transitions into the blue-violet kind of color, and the pearlescent at the tip. And here's a little demonstration for you. Well, I tried to anyway. I'm not sure how well it's visible. And I also got my airbrush kit in, so I'm gonna paint the base color on soon. And I can't wait to try that. Also, my monofin foot pockets is on the way. And the big order of silicone is going out later today. So it's really moving ahead. Can't wait to see where this goes. I'll see you next time.